let's just get right into this tutorial. So this is more geared towards hooded eyes. I feel like I've done this on people who have really deep hooded eyes, and even myself. I don't have really bad hooded eyes, but I do like to make them look even less hooded by doing this little cut crease technique, and just it opens up the eyes and just does really make a difference in how your eye looks. So it's very simple. You're using this ColourPop little mini pressed powder palette here. This is in the shade called Crushed. So you have 5 beautiful warm tone shadows, and I'm going to be using this ColourPop E2 fluffy blending brush. I'm going into this bright peach matte shade there. That one is called Love. I'm just going to place that in the crease. So when you have very hooded eyes, you kind of want to make sure that you don't place too much darkness towards the inner corner. So I'm using this like really light peach shade, and I'm being generous with it, but once I go into the darker shade, I'm just going to focus up on the outer corner, because you just want like the inner corner to like lift. Like pretty much the inner and middle area, you want to make sure that it's lifted. That's why using some concealer to form a cut crease really does help, and it totally really does transform the way your eyes look. This is great if you have hooded eyes. So now that that peach shade is there and nicely blended, I'm going to go into this medium tone brown here in the palette called Cherub, and I'm going to take that same E2 brush and just blend that towards the outer corner. And kind of bringing it towards the outer and middle area, but I'm just like stopping it right towards the middle. I don't want to add much darkness on the inner corner. And I'm just kind of smoking it out towards the outer part of the eye. And this look is very simple because I'm just using those 2 shades. And I'm just going to take a little flat concealer brush, and I'm going to go into the Sheglam concealer. This is their 12-hour full coverage concealer in the shade Coconut Flakes. And I'm just going to place that on the inner corner of my eye, creating a little bit of a cut crease just towards the inner corner, and I'm stopping it right in the middle of my eye. That little concealer trick just like lifts the eye. It gives the illusion of a bigger crease, and especially if you have really deep hooded eyes, it totally just makes the space look so much bigger, and it's like you have a bigger canvas for any shades that you like. The world is your oyster at this point. I'm just going to use a copper shade that is in the palette already, and I'm just going to place that with the same little concealer brush here and pack that on at the inner corner where we have that cut crease. This copper shade in the palette here is called Arrow. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of this golden highlighter. This is from Makeup Forever. It is their Profusion highlighter. I believe this is like the shade at number 2. They only had 2 of these highlighters, and this is like the more golden one, but you can just use any gold shadow that you have. And I'm going to use that same little flat brush there. I'm going to take some, and I'm just going to blend that on the inner corner, and also to highlight the inner corner of the eye even more. So I'm going to take that on the lid and just like kind of stop it towards the middle there, just to really brighten that inner corner. So highlighting the inner corner and like the top of the cut crease area, like the inside of the cut crease area, really did accentuate that brightness even more and open up the eyes even more. It looked really nice with the copper, so I think together it just kind of makes the eyes look even bigger. And now I'm going to take those 2 shades in the palette called Love and Cherub, and I'm going to blend them together, and I'm just going to smoke that on the lower lash line with this ColourPop E27 brush. So now I'm gonna pop on a pair of lashes before I actually do my mascara, because these ones are more like the baby doll lashes, so I like to put them on first, and I'm gonna swipe on some mascara underneath, just so you kind of see like there's like little pockets there, so they look more like baby doll looking. I will link the specific pair that I'm using in the description box, and I'm also gonna place some mascara on the lower lash line, and I'm not going to do a liner for this look. You could of course line your eyelids, but that is a whole other thing. If you have really deep hooded eyes, you don't want to have like thick eyeliner, because then that just takes away from the lid space. So I like to not really use any eyeliner at all if I want to make my lid space look much bigger, and especially on people who have super hooded eyes. That's just kind of like a no-no. You just don't want to take away so much space, because it's easy to kind of get carried away with liner. It's just good to do like a really thin line if you have very deep hooded eyes. So when I put a false lash, you don't miss the liner at all, I promise you guys. So I will be back when the look is complete. Okay guys, so there is the tutorial geared towards hooded eyes. I just really feel like adding like that gold and like that cut crease really does open the eye. It gives you like the illusion of more lid space, which is super important. If you have really deep hooded eyes. So I love to do this on myself, and if I'm ever doing makeup on anyone else and I know that they have like hooded eyes and they just want like a bigger lid space, this is such a great little trick and technique. So it's super easy to do. And I also, if you notice, I didn't put like too much of a big lash, because that can also take away from the lid space. So you kind of want to just keep things looking as like natural as you can in a way. If you want to add a lash, don't go with like too much of like big lashes, or use like a lash that has more thickness towards the outer edge, or you could even do a half lash, because you really don't want to take away from that inner corner lid space. That's why the cut crease just on the inner corner really does accentuate the lids, and it will look great if you have hooded eyes. So I hope that you guys like this tutorial. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!